Funke looked up and saw Madhu carrying a box and asked, "Sweetheart, what's going on? Are you traveling or something?" Madhu glared at her without speaking a word and entered his car and drove off. He never came back home again. Funke never saw this coming. It was a devastating blow. How did it all start? Funke and Madhu met at the organization they both worked for. They were colleagues and soon they started talking love and marriage. They got married and in about 10 years they had 5 children. This is the 11th year of their marriage and all of a sudden Madhu packed his box and left. When they got married, one of them had to resign and they decided that Funke should resign since she earned less. It's a rule that husband and wife should not work in the organization. That's how Funke lost her job. And she couldn't get another one immediately after. She was pregnant. Getting a job while pregnant isn't easy. The organization sees that in a while the lady would go on compulsory maternity leave and they would lose out on whatever contribution she was making for company progress and profits. But now, 8 months after Madhu left home for good and 5 kids without any job or business, Funke is at a loss. How would she cope without Madhu's financial support? How would the house rent be paid? What about school fees for the children? Wow. Funke has been weeping and weeping. She went to the organization both of them worked at, but Madhu had left that place too. She had been trying to cover up for Madhu, but now push has come to shove. Rubber has hit the tar. She has exhausted every savings she has, and all the kids are in school. Madhu left with the only car they had, emptied the only joint account with him she had access to. Talk of being left high and dry. Funke didn't prepare for this. She never expected it. She has been having constant headaches since Madhu left. Constant, daily. Feeding the children became a problem. She had to pull the kids from a school farther away and more expensive to a school cheaper and nearer to the house. How would she raise the school fees? She checked for all 5 and the amount was nearly 300,000 naira. How was she going to raise that? She went to the proprietress of the school to negotiate. She offered to teach and go off to do nanny work at the proprietress's mansion after school daily. It was tough. The eldest of them is a girl called Fadeke. She is heartwarmingly responsible, so she was able to take care of her younger ones while Funke worked every evening. It was very scarce. Eating was at most twice a day. So the poverty journey of Funke and her children started. Funke would pray, and she had this inner resolve to keep pushing. She kept at it. The proprietress, Mrs. Bankole, was extra nice to her. Fadeke was on her scholarship. Fadeke is a very brilliant child, and she was the school's team lead in music. Her voice was angelic, skinny, looking underfed, but her voice cheered up many. Some got emotional and shed tears as Fadeke sang. Fadeke was picked to represent her school with 3 other kids. Everything was normal until Fadeke stepped out to do a solo. The song was her own composition. She wrote it. In the song, Fadeke told a story of a girl forsaken by her father. A girl who believed that her father was the best thing that ever happened. But one day, the father left her when he saw a wolf coming after her. She watched the father disappear into the woods as the wolf approached to devour the girl. But suddenly, the girl heard a gunshot and the wolf fell down flat, dead. And the girl lived to tell her story. the story of a shattered trust, the story of a broken, innocent heart. By the time Fadeke finished the song, there was not even one dry eye. As the last line was, could she ever trust again? But she left her life in the hands of the invisible one. Fadeke became the voice. Event after event. Life changed. She already had scholarships to study music. She was in junior secondary school. There was a meeting of African presidents in Nigeria. Fadeke was invited to not just come and sing, but to sing that her particular song. Fadeke did the song, and for 5 good minutes, presidents of nations were on their feet, clapping and wiping tears off their faces. With the overwhelming effect the song had on them, the MC from Nigeria had to tell Fadeke's story. Fadeke made global headlines. Life changed for Funke and her children because of Fadeke's global fame. Nations sought her to come and sing at their very important events. She was just 14 years old, and her mom would chaperone her to whatever nation. Funke has an amazing friend that took care of the younger ones. Namibian president gave tickets for the entire family to come and visit and perform in Namibia's capital, Windhoek. From there, they were flown to South Africa, where there was a music festival. And Fadeke took the stage, and her voice, her songs, mesmerized everyone. She made newspaper headlines in different nations. The girl with the golden voice of the century. They were back to Nigeria. The address has of course changed. They now live in a beautiful duplex in a beautiful neighborhood. It's been over 10 years since Madhu left. Madhu's best friend, Chijoke, who had not been in the country, came to see his parents and ran into Funke in a shopping mall. They were both in a hurry and exchanged numbers to talk later. Chijoke called Funke the next day and said, "Hi, Funke, how have you been? A friend told me how he abandoned you and your children. I didn't have your number, I would have called you since. I saw a name Fadeke Madhu on the papers as a top-notch singer gone global. Is she your daughter?" Funke answered, "Yes, Chijoke, she's my daughter. God has helped us." Funke, Madhu left you to marry a younger, newer model lady, according to him, called Dicta. Dicta was mostly going on night duties. She lived in unbelievable opulence. This is what Madhu told me. So Madhu moved in with her. He surrendered everything he owned to Dicta. Madhu never bothered to find out what it was that Dicta did as work. He only saw a rich chick who claimed to be available. Unknown to Madhu, Dicta belonged to a gang of criminals. One night while Madhu was asleep, a gang broke into the house and they didn't pick a pin from that house. They only took Madhu. They gave him options to be killed or donate one of his kidneys willingly. He chose the donation. Of course, Dicta wasn't home. In 4 hours, they had collected what they wanted and came and dumped him at Dicta's house. He couldn't return back to work because he was traumatized and sickly. He took to drinking. As soon as he looked strong enough, Dicta planned to abandon him. He went out and came home to an empty house. No Dicta, no furniture, nothing. Dicta had sold the house and the owner came to take possession within 48 hours. I've lived out of the country the past 15 years. I have not been in touch with him. I know some of our friends tried to help, but Madhu's drinking overcame him. He was perpetually drunk. I don't know where he is now, or do you? Funke said, Chijoke, the children and I had the toughest, roughest time of our lives. We were hardly eating basic food. But through Fadeke's voice, and the mercy, the benevolence of the proprietress of the school that I attended, God changed our story for the better. I really don't know where your friend is, not that I care anymore anyway. We passed through the valley of the shadow of death. Chijioke said, I will try and come around to see you before I go back to Japan, okay? Soon after this, Funke and Fadeke were chauffeur-driven to a high-end restaurant, and as they passed the gate, there was a man that looked like Madhu. Funke wasn't quite sure, and she didn't want to spoil the evening outing she had with Fadeke. However, she took note that she would come back to find out who it was. In a few days, she went back there alone, taking a light breakfast. The restaurant was not busy at this point, and she asked one of the managers about the gate man there. She asked if there was a gate man called Madhu. The manager said yes, there is. Madhu, the drunk. I don't think he's at work today. He was sacked 2 days ago. He has a very long story. He claims that Fadeke, the owner of Fadeke 90 Girls, is his daughter. I think he is off his mind. He also told his story that when Fadeke was little, he followed a Mami Water younger sweet lady and abandoned her and her siblings and mother. He said that the lady brought him down to zero, that she drugged him and made him sign off everything he owned, including the house that they were living in, signed off everything to her. He also said that the lady belonged to a criminal gang that harvested his own kidney, one of his 2 kidneys. By the time he realized himself that the lady had left the country with the proceeds of the sales of all the things, well, we managed to give him this job, but found out he is delusional and almost always drunk. We had to sack him 2 days ago. He lives more like a tramp. Years later, Funke was leaving home in Victoria Island when she saw a tramp coming towards her gate. She stopped, and it was Madhu. She asked, "What do you want?" He said, "Please, I want to see my children." Funke said, "Which children? The ones you abandoned with me and left us empty-handed? Please make sure you don't come back here ever again. We are okay, and go away and remain okay." Madhu said, "Can I at least see Fadeke? I need her to help me." Funke said, "Oh, really? Please move on and never come back here again, ever." Wow. Madhu. Haha, Madhu. Well, we hope you benefited from this story. If yes, please give us a thumbs up. Share our story video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. Then click the bell icon so you would be among the first to know when we upload a new story video. Thank you so very much. Thank you for being there for us. This is African Folktales ChinChin. Goodbye.